The champ is here.
We will definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man.
MH.
Yes, sir. He is the DP of the show, and we're Black in Sports, giving a voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. Here interviewing the best professionals in the game and in the boardroom. Here covering it all, laughing it all, while providing a platform to be heard. Now, you know what we do about this time. We got to welcome our guest. And he knows all about the athlete journey. From amateur into the big leagues, he makes me think of one of our American urban great poets. Popular in 2007 with the remix of Bootsy Badass and Little Webby had Wipe Me Down. Hey, wipe me down. Hey, wipe me down. And he is the founder and CEO of Game Face Grooming. Please clap it up for Philip Williams. Philip Williams, hey, thank you so much for taking time for us, man.
My gosh. I love that. Man. I love that.
You gotta bring it back. All right, so how we jump and start the show, all of our shows, we ask you a shoot your shot question, okay? This is a moment in life. It could have been high school, early career, childhood, college days, or, in today's environment, it could have been recently, but it's a shoot your shot moment. And it's just like a moment in time where you went for it, you bet on yourself, you could have won, or you could have learned a lesson. So give us that shoot your shot moment.
Wow. Well, I would imagine for me, it was, really at the onset of having that aha moment to start Game Face Grooming as a brand. I'd come off a pretty successful career early on, with my background being in automotive management first, and then transitioning into sports marketing. And it was when I had left the organization, I had the opportunity to work with some other brands in the consumer product space. And literally, guys, I was coaching my oldest daughter's AAU basketball team. I saw a bunch of young guys just off to my left as our girls were going on the court to warm up. And, we had worked with this brand in the UK called Simple, and their hero product was a makeup removing wipe. And I said to myself, God, how are these young guys getting clean throughout the day, right? And that's transitioning between games. Also, you have one uniform, one sweatsuit, and you're going to lunch with friends and family. And I'm like, what if we created serious skincare delivered in a wipe? Bang, that was it. Went home, gave the pitch to my wife, right? And my bride is 33 years together since freshman year in college, right? And so she's about it. So she said, good, bad, or indifferent. This one was good, and that's when we set forth on the journey.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I love it. Congratulations on the 33 years and raising a daughter. I might need to connect with you on some notes.
I have 3 daughters.
We definitely gotta connect. Lots of prayers.
Yeah,
I can see. So where did your love for sports start?
Early on, right? I grew up in small town Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and we were one of when we first moved to this little town called Lidditz, Pennsylvania. We were the only Black family there, right? And back in the day, early 80s, you had, one African-American family, you had one Asian family, one Hispanic family, and, one, of each, right? And the role, right, of that, in those days. But, it was cool, for us as a family. My dad said, hey, if you're going to, and mom said, if you're going to excel and you want to play sports, you gotta, bang the books. Right. And so it was that interdisciplinary strength from both my mom and dad for all four of us, early on. That was, platform, like we competed, sports, excelled. But, I can tell you 10 stories where, my dad took that away from me because I didn't do my chores or, throughout. Right. But still all those were learning moments for me, my siblings, to where, it kind of made us who we are today. Right.
That's what's up. So growing up in Lancaster, right? So, I mean, or just in PA, right?
Yeah.
Definitely sports around. So who were the teams? I mean, we know in the pre-show and some from other research who your basketball team is, but who were your teams kind of growing up for your sports team in the major four?
So obviously Sixers, Julius Erving was the icon. Where we lived in Lancaster, there was a university called Franklin and Marshall, and you talk about craziness, right? So F&M was where the Sixers would do their annual training camp. So they stayed at this hotel, which was about 10 miles from our house, right? So we literally would take our bikes with buckets and towels and soap, ride down to the Eden Theater. This is where the Eden Resort. The guys would come in with all their souped up cars, right? We do car washes. They give us like $20, man, right? And then we'd always get tickets, to go to the camp or whatever to see them, when they're doing their training camps. And Julius, we're there watching him as little kids, like playing video games, Galaga and all those, Pac-Man and all those things, right? Kind of crazy. But that was the early on exposure that we had in sports. So Sixers became iconic for me, right? I'm not an Eagles fan.
Okay, so there may be some hope. There's another team in that area. Let's go. You see the towel.
Yeah, frustrated Cowboy fan. I'm gonna be honest. Look, right. Easy.
You made the other host happy. The other host
Yeah. You're good with me.
Right.
Yeah,
so there was a running back that was from our area. Gentleman's name was Doug Dennison. So he was went to JP McCaskey, then on to play at Syracuse, and so he was like the local legend, right? So anytime you saw him on TV, he was the backup running back to Robert Newhouse and Tony Dorsett. So the silver and blue was large, and to me and my older sister, and then ironically my two older brothers, they're not even Eagle fans. One's a Redskin fan and the other is a Dolphins fan. But so that takes care of football. Baseball, Phillies all day. Yeah. Hockey, again, Flyers as well. So, I'm a little, bumpy here and there. But, whenever I say Cowboys, it's always like, oh, man, no. But, when we were in college, we had 3 Super Bowls. So I was the man then, so it was good. But it's been a long drought.
Well, we did an episode on the gambler, so we know about the drought. And but no, you love the spirit that Jerry's putting together with the team. So we'll see what happens. Go ahead, MH.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to, from your background, even talk a little bit about the Cowboys in that division. And knowing that you're a Cowboys fan just brought up a question to me. Is this,
sure.
It is very, from spending some time on the East Coast, it is a different culture there than it definitely is in Texas. And I always kind of wonder how that, made sense for the Cowboys and all those type of things. But what's your thoughts of it, coming from that space?
Well, culturally, totally two dynamics, right? Northeast and then Dallas, Texas. And I've spent time in both markets, and I was just down there this past summer for a good week. And, Cowboys, again, like when I was coming up, guys, like, I'm on my 5th level now. So, like it was NBC, ABC, Fox and all that. Like Sundays, it was always Cowboys were playing either at 1 or 4, you know what I mean? Or Monday night, right? So you know, that was easy, you know, and then the team also had success. And Tom Landry, you know, just, he was just thorough, professional, you know, and he did it the right way. And, you know, again, like all the historical things, you know, with the Cowboys, you know, the victory formation and, you know, the line. And I mean, you know, I could go on, but, you know, Dallas is unique in itself, although, you know, it's a thriving city and great culture in its own right, right? Especially with the Mexican influence there as well, culturally, from food and fashion and all those things. You know, so I like the cross pollination, you know, between the two markets. You know, again, even like, you know, where we live at, you know, we're in a rural setting, but I'm an hour from Manhattan, you know, so it kind of is the same parallel in some ways.
I love it. And then my second part to that is, as a Knicks fan, I always see the Sixers fans as, you know, very relationships with the Sixers. So yeah, a good love-hate relationship, so to speak. So what's your thoughts on the Sixers over your time? There's been a lot of peaks and values, you know, and valleys, I should say. And what do you think about them this year, going into this season as we start?
Wow, man. MH, you know, great question. You know, we're from Game Face perspective, we're kind of on the inside now because of this event, you know, that they do annually called the Enrich Award, right? And we, you know, there were 3 tiers and thresholds. They asked us to enter. You know, you get first, second, third place. First is more like a sponsorship endorsement with the team, along with a lot of, you know, assets. And then, you know, second and third were financial. We actually we won first place, right? So huge opportunity for us. The Sixers, you know, again, as you can see, the change within the organization on the court, coming off a rough season last year. The pulse is totally different internally, you know, in terms of now that I've gotten to know, you know, some of the senior level executive folks. I mean, one, you know, the organization is first class. I mean, guys, I tell you, you know, like top to bottom, they're invested in our business, in Game Face, and helping us thrive and grow. And even my time with the New Jersey Nets, you know, we were a small organization, really family detailed and oriented as well. I have that same sense and environment with where we are within the 76ers. And then, you know, you're seeing it on the court as well, right? The product is improving. You know, Maxey, top 5 in my eyes in the league. Now we just got to marry that with the respect from the officials, but he's dynamic. The young guy, Edgecombe, is dynamic as well. And, you know, you got to give a little love to Jared McCain, right? Everybody makes fun of the guy, and he's, you know, painting his nails, but he gonna go give you 30 with the nails treated or not. You know what I mean? And that's somewhat humorous, you know, nowadays, because, you know, back in the day, if somebody came up with the nails on, you like, hey, bro, we good? We good?
That went flying.
Yeah.
All right, so kind of Robert still early on in it, man. You mentioned, and it is really on record, that the story of how you found it really came from coaching your daughters in AAU. You know, that's definitely the shared story of how the brand began. But for those girl dads out there, and for tips for MH, man, because he's going to have some coaching maybe coming up, as he is a girl dad. Is there any tips that you can fuel him with, man, that he can kind of take away and maybe find his inspiration for his next thing?
Look, I will tell you, you know, girls are God's greatest gift. I have 3 daughters. I still, when I see them, or whether it's greeting them or they leave, it's a hug, it's a kiss. But the one thing I'll tell you, they will always hold you accountable. Right.
You're laughing, mate.
And look, we have a close family, man, and I'm proud of that, right? But my daughters, man, they're all different, but they're united, right? And that is unique because the three of them have totally different personalities, right? My oldest is a mini me. Like if she could do the podcast with you guys instead of me, that's who she is, right? That's our oldest Hope. Our middle one, Haley, she's a middle child. She is a kindergarten teacher, just graduated from Penn State. She's got 21 snotty-nosed kids in a kindergarten class and loves every second of it. And then our youngest is in, she's at Bucknell. Her name's Hayden. She's in the Freeman School of Business, really competitive environment, Dean's List all 3 years so far. She will outwork you. She will, figure it out and dominate. Like that's her, right? But the three of them complement each other so well, and they're so close, and they're about 2.5 years apart. So, I'm fortunate that I have a great life partner in my wife. She's affectionately known as the lovely Heather. And then, just the experiences that we've had on our journey have been really fun. And we've been able to share that with our kids.
And that's awesome.
I love it. The accountability thing is real. My daughter's she'll be 6 here coming up, but yeah. She's already holding me accountable. That is definitely a real thing.
Yeah.
What's your coaching inspiration? Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. But and I was just saying, and that's then in the coaching side of it, right? So, the key thing is separating the coach from the dad, right? You got to go, and I didn't do that. Right. I'm doing both. And then, like early. I figured it out. But we had great success. Right. So, in like our community, we're, Philly market, New Jersey market, New York market. And, I did the feeder program for 15 years at, in this area. So, I knew the kids early, 3rd grade, we're doing skills and drills. We take them to, tournaments and I didn't become a fan of the AAU circuit. How we did AAU was we kept our school team together and then we went out and hooped against everybody else, right? It wasn't like getting the best from this school. Nah, we're going to work on our skills. So you can be your one when we play your school in a winter, but we're going to beat you by 40. You know what I mean? Because you don't have other greats with you. You know what I mean? Yeah, but ours are A's, A minuses, B pluses. Where you might have 1 A and 3 C's and a D. Okay, that's your regular season, but AAU is a bit different. So that's always been my philosophy, man. Keep that core team together, especially if you have some talent around the school. And then, hey, you get to the districts, you get to the states. That's really when you get your accolades, not so much AAU. Yeah, you'll get the recruiting aspect of it, but the team accomplishments really come from the school experience.
Yeah, and you get them to play together, cohesiveness, and that takes you further. There's more exposure when you're winning championships than if you're on that AAU tournament, right? And it's showing you how to build together as a team. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I think that's a better philosophy. But AAU is it's a lot of money, and some of the best players. Like we always had our program free to the kids. Now there was a community youth association that you paid $100 to, but if you made it free, you got all the talent, right? Because that's where we were able to excel, because there were certain kids that came through and I was like, man, she's going to be a gazelle. Like, yep. And, panned out that way. You know what I mean? So, and I still coach now. Now my girls are gone. I still coach. So we have tryouts on Friday night, 7:30 to 9 o'clock, man.
All right, we're going to post that on social.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So I'm about to move on. MH, anything else before I move on? Am I good to go? Okay, so we want to jump into what we call the game, right? So this is where we're starting into live action and really starting to show a little bit about your career, right? We're taking everybody, the audience, on a journey here. And in the game, my first question to you in your career is, how do you go from GM automotive to the NBA? Like, talk about that transition, right?
Wow. Yeah. Well, GM was amazing because, in my life, I always say, nothing happens to me. It always happens for me and for a reason, right? I had 2 offers out of college. One was in the banking industry. The other was with automotive. And I was like, cars or banking? I'm going cars, man. So 6 months into my job, I met one of my mentors, and still I talk to him once a week, Al Strain. He gave me an opportunity as an African-American man. He was the only black zone manager in all of Pontiac division. Okay. And that's an amazing feat. And he's a Cali guy. I met him in Philly. And so Al, gave me the opportunity to get my MBA as soon as I started with Pontiac division. So I did that 2 years. I was on a pretty good track, had an opportunity after I finished my MBA to go international, which, you kind of in GM, if you get international experience, you come back corporate, man, you're a fast tracker, right? But when I was in the second year of my MBA, there was a merger between Pontiac and GMC Truck. Ended up, they're saying, hey, everybody that's in this graduate program, you're a free agent after this. I had a colleague of mine who was an automotive dealer in New Jersey. One of his good friends was a lady by the name of Carol Blazejowski. And I met Blaze. She was the general manager of the New York Liberty at the time. And I was talking to her about, transitioning careers, and she's like, oh, well, you have a background in marketing. Why don't you speak to this gentleman? Well, fellas, 10 interviews later, I get hired on as, one of the regional sales marketing managers at the NBA League office. So, I wrote a really compelling letter as my cover letter, and it was like, my journey, and, counting down was like 3, 2, 1. And, I'm ready to give you, the game winner of everything I can, put into this organization. Right. So I got the job, man. And, there was another brother up in there, Mike McNeil, who's still a dear friend of mine. Mike is a New Yorker, so I'm up in here, from the country. I'm happy as, Mike, good morning. And he was like, what do you want? What's good about the morning? I couldn't catch a cab because I'm black. You know what I mean?
New York through and through.
My God, right? Jokingly, you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
But that was like the first opportunity. And then, I had great people that I work for at the league, to
and
get
NBA
some good
at that
exposure.
time was was it 98, I believe it said, or was it,
Yeah.
was I misread that? So I mean, that's the Bulls era, right? Like you're in that the hot streak of the league, right? It was on fire.
So EJ, best story ever, right?
Okay.
And if I was in my office, right, there's a picture over my left shoulder, and it's Michael Jordan. Okay, if it's Michael Jordan, signed autograph picture, right? So here's the story. I'm in The Last Dance. I have to, I got a 3-second clip up in that, right? That my girls got for me because they always heard the story, right? And I'm like, I worked at the league, So I'll text it to you, MJ.
Yes.
EJ, right? So I'm in The Last Dance. When Jordan hits the shot, after he pushes Brian Russell in the butt, I'm standing on the baseline because my job, I had all the championship hats and T-shirts.
Wow.
Yes, guys, right? Go. So the Jazz called timeout, and the thing is, the 2 days before I'm in Chicago, the series was 3-1. I thought Bulls were going to close them out. Everybody did. I had to, get on the phone with United to get a flight, guys. Right? Wasn't like back in the, I'm on a phone and I'm right. I fly into Utah, right? The game started at 1:00. First time in my life I had a police escort going down to the arena because I had all the gear. Okay. Yeah, right. Because if and I had 2 sets, right? So I'm there. Bulls win. After Stockton front rimmed it, and it looked like we were going back to Chicago for Game 7. So the last dance, Michael and Scotty, and the guys are hugging each other and all that. Literally, they're hugging each other. Hat, T, bang, right? So that's where my girls got me in the last dance. They're like, "Oh, Dad, there you are." I was like, "I told you I was there." Right? They finally believed me, right?
So they need the proof. They need the whole
accountability. Accountability.
Again, exactly. That makes they hold me accountable, right? So I get into the locker room, and that's before all the media comes in. And Utah's locker room, cement floor, old metal lockers. The team equipment manager had all the jerseys up, and in the locker rooms, Denzel, Leonardo DiCaprio, Penny Marshall, Carmen Electra, right? I'm credentialed up, so I couldn't act wild, right? I had to keep it. And I had pagers back in the day, so people could see me on TV. They're like, yo, you're paging. Yeah. 5th level, guys. 5th level, right? 5th level. So, I get in as I before the media came in, I used the restroom. I come out the backside of the bathroom. MJ's right there, literally, right? With the championship trophy, crying the whole 9. And he says to me, "Hey, would you be willing to give some extra hats and T-shirts to my mom and my sister, because his father had passed away?" Remember that episode. But I was like, "Yeah, of course. We're going to be in parade in Chicago for the parade in 2 days. I'll just send it to the crib." Literally, I send it. Thought nothing of it. Like 3 weeks later, at my office in the NBA, I get this box. In the box is a letter from Mike and a signed photo of him. It's like 14 by 16. And he's going in like, right? Yeah. So again, I grow up Julius, Barkley, all those guys. But that was the level of respect when I just said, like, he's him. That's the guy right there. So when we don't give me LeBron, don't give me, the only other guy is Kobe, and then the only other guy after that is AI, right? And then we'll chop it up. But that is true story, guys, and I'll have to share that video with you for context as well.
Absolutely, that's funny.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't have to be in the hotel room when he was playing the piano and everybody was acting like he was playing nice.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you didn't have to be in that part of the last day.
No chance.
Yeah. So it's interesting from the league side transitioning to the club side. I'm sure there's much different goals and everything of that nature. How was that process of that transition for you?
Yeah, well, MH, like literally you nailed it, right? At the league, you're working for larger endeavors, right? Like it's spreading the reach of the game. You're still in tune with your teams, but it's not every day, and you're not dependent on wins and losses. When I transitioned to the Nets, it was great. I mean, I worked for Rod Thorne. He was awesome. He was intense. He was fair but firm. My other boss was this guy, Leo Erline, who just was, awesome dude, great mentor. But prior to Rod coming into the organization, there was a gentleman, Michael Rowe, who was the president of the Nets, and he was absolutely awesome. I mean, he was innovative, like gave you enough of a leash to go run and figure stuff out. But hey, like the first project I had was doing the road jersey, which is the gray one and red one for the New Jersey Nets. That was the first project I did. And so it was cool. We redid our logo, primary logo, secondary logo, that uniform. And I can remember, when I, went over to the team side, that's when you transition. And like, if you go on a 3-game losing streak, you're like, we're looking around like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, we got to figure this out. So the product on the floor is everything, because it's the wins and losses, right? And, obviously, when I first went there, we had some volatility, Jason Williams, Stephon Marbury, both, and I was cool with both of them. They were just two different personalities, you know what I mean? And then, when we had Steph, like, to give you an idea, and I love Steph, he's awesome. When we did our road jersey, the new gray jersey rather, and it's the 25th anniversary, it had like a little wider sleeve on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I get it ready. That's approved by the league. I go into the locker room. I said, Steph, what do you think? Because he was the guy there. He was like, man, that's a girl's jersey, man. I ain't wearing that. I'm like, what? Like, what? Yeah, because WNBA was wearing the wider Johns. We were like, wow, man. Yeah. He's like, I ain't wearing that. This don't feel right. Coney Island, right? New York. Like, wow. Well, the irony is, he gets traded for Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd,
right?
Yeah.
Number 5.
Employee number 5 is what we used to call him. Okay. I still Jay's employee number 5 when I talk to him today, even in our conversations now, you know what I mean? But when Jay came in, man, that's tough. I love that uniform. Okay. Yeah. We're good now. Let's go. And guess what? Kenyon, Richard,
They just start rolling, right?
Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. So, but like the team side is more family. It's personal. And you don't get that with every organization, but between our ownership group and president and Leo, and then when Rod came in as president, man, we have just a competitive relationship, fun. Before every game, I'd go into Rod and we get our handshake like 1, 2, 3, and I go and then we're ready to play, man. You know what I mean? And it was a good experience, great experience. I wouldn't change it. And that's when our family was young, so our girls got a chance to be a part of that. And hey, if our team was on the road, all right, EJ, MH, we're at your crib, we're watching over there, or you know what I mean? So it really became a close family dynamic, which was fun too.
And you guys during that time there's some interesting I guess eras or legacies or dynasties that were happening in the NBA with the Spurs and the Lakers back. You guys experienced really all of that. So that is an interesting. I love the jerseys, by the way. They were my favorite as an NBA fan. Those gray Nets jerseys were one of my favorite jerseys. So excellent.
The
job,
cool
man.
gray. Well, no, and the MH, it was like we ran into Kobe and Shaq, got swept, and we ran into Tim Duncan and the Spurs, and we lost in 6. You know what I mean? Otherwise, the hardware would be right here, man. But I'd rather lose with our guys because knowing what they put into it and who they are now and life after their careers, and I'm still in touch with them all. It's a blessing.
That's awesome. So just talk about from, your experience, a lot of your experience cultivated was on the sales or partnership marketing side. What did you learn or you think that really helped you to move forward in your kind of like just not only your career, but to ultimately, for Game Face?
Yeah. Look, guys, they always say your network is your net worth, right? And for, the management team, that I worked for, like Michael Rowe, Leo, Rod, um, they knew the importance of relationships, right? So in partnerships, you sometimes I could meet, someone like yourselves, and that might be 18 months before we actually do a deal, right? But we're giving you access, we're providing you the opportunity, and we're building a strategy as to how you can build your business and brand with a partnership for hours with us. Because the difference with the Nets as an organization, early on before I got there, you're reinventing yourself every year, right? So we were like the LA Clippers on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, rather, like what they were struggling with. And shit, if you sent me a resume and it said Chicago Bulls on, I wouldn't hire you. But if it said Clippers, I know you had
To work.
you had to work, and you knew the creativeness that you had to employ to make sure that you manage, and you had these partners. We had a high renewal rate, 90% plus. So our partners were coming back. But the unique thing about our audience was we knew the difference between our audience and the Knicks audience. So Knicks was the three of us going to Morton Steakhouse, grabbing a beer, then going to check the game. That same fan, that dad, he's not going out, with the three of us. He's going home, picking up his kids and family, coming to the game, right? So we had a totally different spin on it, to where we had to make it more of a family-friendly environment, which was cool for us, but that led into the culture of what our organization was, and it was about family first. So that was awesome. The one thing I would tell you, because I think in like a 4 or 5 year span, we beat the Knicks. We had them like 10 games. We beat them like 10 out of 11 games, right? So we used to say, "Oh, we got a home game in our West Arena tonight." That's for you, MH. Okay.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate
Love
that.
that.
We got a home game because J Kid was up in there throwing tips, no looks. Oh man, it was like,
Going
yep, I'll
off.
see y'all tonight.
The home court West. I love that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, this is the part of the show. It makes you ready for those 3 and outs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir. So this is just some random questions, so
Yeah.
our listeners can kind of get to know you better. Are you texting or are you talking?
Talking.
Was that a like over the phone or is that FaceTime? Which one would you prefer?
Depends on if it's a colleague to colleague, it's on the phone. If it's my daughter's, it's FaceTime.
I got you. Favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week? Friday.
I love it. Favorite city in the U.S. besides the one you currently reside in?
Boise, Idaho.
Oh, you gotta look. Yeah, can I? The JV Denver. I'm from Denver, so I think that's junior varsity Denver. Why Boise?
Wait a minute.
One of the JV Denver.
It is.
Well,
junior
I'll
varsity
tell you,
Denver.
dude, it was one of the most picturesque and cleanest, and then I'll say progressive, environments, man. And when you remember Chris Childs from the New York Knicks? Remember Childs?
Yep.
Now
Kobe does
he
too.
used to play. Childs used to play for the Stampede, the Boise Stampede.
Okay.
And I remember him just years ago. Like this was before I was even in Boise. And he's like, "Yo, man, that's a hidden gem, man." It's like, and then I went there and I was like, because I had to go there for a meeting with Albertsons, the grocery chain, and I was like, man, what a beautiful city. Caught it in the right time. You have Boise State that's there. 50,000 college kids, warehousey type feel, outdoor bars, great barbershops. Guys were groomed up. This is 15 years ago, the first time I was out there. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, this is it. And then 5 years later, I see number one place to retire in Travel Magazine, Boise, Idaho. Bang.
Yeah.
All right. So remind me, MH, after we get off of this, to call Visit Boise for this commercial. We just put
all right. Moving on.
I got you.
Nickname. One of your childhood nicknames.
George.
Scale of 1 to 10. How good of a driver are you?
11. So just don't ask my wife.
Fill in the blank. Fill in the blank here. Allen Iverson is
top 3 all time.
Love it. Favorite junk food?
Ice cream.
Favorite childhood TV show?
Sanford and Son.
You big dummy.
Yeah. my last one. If you dress. So what was your last Halloween costume?
Last Halloween costume, what were my wife and I? Man, wait. Because it's been a minute. Oh, we were Kanye and Kim.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what we're jumping into. We've definitely had brief iterations of you talking about it, but this is the winner circle, man. This is where we provide our guests a platform to talk about what they're doing, what they're promoting, what's great. So stepping into the winner circle, man, want to ask you, what is Game Face Grooming?
Game Face Grooming, we are a brand that that basically has come up with simple solutions for men that are solution oriented and easily fit within their everyday lifestyle, right? So starting with like our face and body wipes, which was the core of our business, it's the most gratifying thing that people will tell me after they experience the functionality of our wipes. They'll say, it's the best product I never knew I needed. And then it's adopted, right? So, what I've tried to be able to incorporate really with the vision of the brand is, innovating at every turn, right? So, and then on the back end, where we have this innovation is locking in, the IP of everything that we do, from formulation to where it's locked and loaded and it's in a library and it can't be sold because it's a different experience. If you go direct to a contract manufacturer and you want them to make your product, it's going to be the same formula as 90% of the products that are out there. Where I took the tact of going to a formulation company, building our formula so it meets all the criteria that I'm looking for. So again, natural, biodegradable, sustainable, non-sticky, made in the US. All those were determining factors for what I wanted to create. And then as we, created the patent around our sneaker cleaning wipe, the same design patent around our body sponge, right? So we're not a Me Too brand like you'd see on the shelves at retailers like, Gillette or Everyman Jack. But the other thing is, and I'm proud of it, is that, not a lot of these men's grooming brands have a face like myself attached to it, right? So I want to be able to give direct testimony as to why I created X product. And again, it's really setting a standard to where it's best in class, and we continue to lead the curve on innovation.
Man, I appreciate you pausing and saying that one part about the IP. You know, that's a really major step that sometimes business owners skip for the success part in a rush to do that and don't understand how important that is. And I think that was one of the things as, you know, Black in Sports, a podcast was looking to grow. You know, a lot of people liked our content and wanted to put on a platform, but then we would lose ownership of our
Right.
content, right?
Right.
So that IP was a very important part. So I thank you for sharing that. And then also the other thing you touched upon is seeing your face, you know, at the head of this grooming line, right? This cosmetic line is an amazing thing, right? So what was that, or how has that journey been for you as as an entrepreneur, right? Starting off.
Sure. You know, look, because of the, you know, the Rolodex and the relationships I had, when I had the concept, I was able to also have a proving ground. I actually, you know, said to myself, okay, now my wife's like, yep, it's a good idea. But we had 4 or 5 different brand names. Game Face would trend up when we did focus groups. Okay, cool. That ended up being, you know, the brand name that we were going to go with. Then, hey, trademark, lock in all that stuff, right? Next phase is, you know, I reached out to a colleague of mine who was with Rite Aid stores at the time, and he was the category manager for men's grooming. So I'm like, Dave, hey, I got a concept. You know, I only have samples and I have some imagery of what the packaging is going to look like. All right, come on out, see me. I drove to Harrisburg, see Dave. I'm in the office. I have my samples, have my 2-page, my Game Face logo. And then the next page was the 4 pictures of the wipes. And he goes, I love it. He goes, I've actually been searching for a wipe product to put into my men's grooming portfolio here in store. He goes, but let me think about it. I'll reach back out to you in a couple of weeks. I'm like, all right, cool. Now I have my consulting business where, you know, we're bringing brands in from outside the country and setting them up for U.S. operations, all that stuff. But I get the call from Dave in like 3 weeks, and he goes, hey, I want to bring 3 of your products into 5,000 stores. I said, awesome, but I'm not ready. So I said no, right? Because he needed them in 3 months. I was 6 months before I had even a production opportunity. And it wasn't until I had live samples that were reflective of my product that I did an open call at Walmart, and they took in 2 of our products.
Amazing.
That was it.
Absolutely amazing.
Wow, it seemed like, and correct me if I'm wrong, the product started target audience being, I guess, teens or boys, and I feel like that's such a hard target to kind of lean in and target on, because they always
Sure.
change. They don't even know themselves half the time. So how was that
Yep.
process leaning into that target audience to start?
So I came up with, I think is a pretty clever tagline that we have trademarked as well. We affectionately say that we're creating beauty for beast, right? So that, you know, again, as for guys, right? Beauty for beast. You know, every time I say that, I get the same reaction, like, wow, that's clever. And it's on the back of our business cards. It leads with our presentations. It's on our website. But, you know, where I'm shifting gears now, MH, is we're girl dads, but I'm also now targeting boy moms, right? So boy mom now, okay, like this is the portfolio of products that you need, where we can start them at 10 years old because they need them in their backpack, you know, early on for that cleaning solution. And they're shareable, because if you got 3 other cats in the car, it's like, okay, yep, hit it, boom, boom, we all smell good. We stop at McDonald's and we get our grub on, great. And then we're dropping you off at home. So that is, you know, the early audience that we've catered to, but now we've matured as a brand as well, right? So we changed our early packaging was like, you know, a vibrant blue. Then we changed that into like all black. So it's a really high-end carbon fiber look, because now, you know, that same young guy, he's probably matured with us for the last 5-6 years, and now he's 16, right? So he wants that, you know, hey, in case his girl comes over, or, you know, like whatever, right? You know, it's there, right? So you're going to want to put that in your bathroom more so than other brands that might be brown or yellow or whatever, not mentioning any other brands. So out of respect.
No, no, that's good stuff. So you mentioned, because it started with the wipes, right?
Yeah.
And then I think really what you're pushing, which is I want you to make sure we spend time on that, the sneaker wipes, right? Because that's innovative, and we have to talk about the innovation that you're doing as well. So IP, being, you know, entrepreneur, but the innovation part. But talk about some of the other lines that you have, because it started with wipes, but you carry so much other stuff.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, so after we developed the 4 wipes, right, and it was whole body care. So we wanted face to feet, right? So cleansing, cooling, deodorizing, antibacterial. The antibacterial at the time was an exclusive product that we created for GNC, for gym equipment and all that stuff. That helped us through COVID big time. Like, we sold a ton of those. You know, then through that, I wanted to reinvest into the business to create this lifestyle product, which is now our sneaker cleaning wipe, right? So that became, you know, a product that we have a patent on globally. It's the coolest innovation. You know, it's this little clever product right here, you know, that I think is the best solution for on-the-go care, you know, that's out there on the market, right? So, you know, I have this list, yes, but not now list, because after people see it, they're like, oh, that can go in the pets, that can go in the baby. Yeah, but not now, right? So right now we're focused on sneaker cleaning, and sneaker cleaning has led us to do an NBA license. So we came through NBA Labs, which is kind of the incubator, to where we're now able to, we're going to be launching this month with 6 NBA teams. So that's Sixers, Knicks, Celtics, Lakers, Warriors, and yes, sir. Hey, they're not even out yet, man. So EJ,
Exclusive
you're trending,
stuff,
man.
you know what I'm saying? Let's go. Black and Sports exclusive stuff.
So, you know, our plan is we have the license for all 30 teams. So, you know, I'm hoping that we can have success with these early teams that we're launching with getting distribution in arena. And then, like, in these select markets, like in Philly, we're going to some high-end boutique retailers, P's and Q's, Lapstone and Hammer, you know, to where we get that core credibility from the sneakerheads, those enthusiasts. And then, you know, by way of that, hey, then we'll take it and put it into traditional retail, whether that's Snipes, Dick's, Lids, all those types of retailers moving forward.
No, that's awesome. And then just like definitely to see the product line of everything you have going on, and the fact that the innovation, not only with the how you provide the product, but the products that you choose to select. I do have one question. What's up with the self-tanning drops, man? Talk to me about where the self-tanning drops came in, and why was that, you know, one of those that became now, but
great question. Great question. So when I left the Nets, I took a job as president of sales and marketing to run this company called King of Shaves in the UK.
Yeah.
Right. So at the time, they were the number 2 brand in the UK, behind Gillette. And so I spent a good part of 2 years learning the business between here in the UK, and then we launched it into the US and brought Jason Kidd on as the face of the brand. That was when, you know, still, you know, your glossy FHMs and all those publications were out there. So one of the products that we had within King of Shaves was a men's grooming line called Exceed. And within that, we had tinted moisturizers and those types of products. And it was ahead of our time. Like, this is 2007. Like, guys weren't even thinking about beards then, right? Like literally you were just shaving and going and doing what you had to do. But that always stuck in my mind as because the product performed really well at retail. And we did an exclusive with the folks at CVS. So again, yeah, I'm an African American owner, but my audience is for all skin types, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so that fits in for our Caucasian brothers, you know what I mean? Like we ain't rocking with that every day, but it's a world class formulation, right? It's best in class, performs as it says on the bottle, and you know, that's why we created. But again, the innovation is a trend away from what's not out there that you see at traditional retail, right? For men's brands that are out there. So as we elevate, you know, the reach of all of our other, you know, 20 other products, you know, that's one that is special in the assortment. So great question, but it's for a broader audience as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you spoke about, and this is kind of the journey through men's healthcare, like, right? Like, you know, we talked about nails being painted. That's now a little more accepted, right? We talk
Sure.
about men taking care of themselves, right? Like, you didn't think about using a wipe before. You just, hey, that was the the smell of hard work, right? So you just
Yeah,
gotta,
paper
you
towel.
gotta,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, how is this something that we don't know that you can educate our audience of how big the men's grooming or what is that kind of cosmetic section is? You know, because like, you know, you think about the wipes, but you've created so many brands, like we just talked about the tan drops,
Yeah.
lotions, soap, all of that stuff for you to continue to build. We've all watched Shark Tank, right? Where they talk
Yeah.
about, hey, you have too many SKUs. How are you looking at the men's grooming brand and knowing like, okay, what is now and then what is like, you know, not now type things for that kind of segment?
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, like I look at, you know, retail is kind of scale and awareness, right? That's kind of where that is, right? My direct to consumer is really about innovation and allowing us to tell our story, right? And then we also get great data collection around who's buying it, what are they buying, what are they telling us that they want, and then you know, again, I think you know, my channels, I want them intentionally disrupted, right? Because I think, you know, I want the consumer, we want to meet them where they are. You hear that a lot, but you know, when you see our product at retail, you know, and people stumble upon the brand and they haven't seen us before, it's that, wow, this brand's made it. Like they're in the store. So, okay, for convenience, you know, I'll buy it, I'll test it, I'll try it. Then they come into our direct to consumer platform and they say, wow, look at the portfolio. Okay, cool. Right. So where as an entrepreneur, I think a lot of people make a lot of mistakes is, and this is inherently just because of the experience I've gained in the industry. Like if I want to develop a product and you know, I don't need to go produce 50,000 pieces of one SKU. That's how entrepreneurs go broke, and contract manufacturers, they come and they see you coming and you think you have the greatest idea, but you're bankrupt in 10 minutes, right? So my whole vision has always been, I want to be broad in terms of my product assortment, but I don't need to be deep in terms of my inventory, right? So I can do smaller production runs, test, see what the feedback is. If it's not great, not well received, hey man, I'll do it as a gift with promotion. I did 1,000 pieces, guys. It didn't you know, cost me an arm and a leg, but that allows me to continue to test, trial, and expand. So when that exit happens, right now, you know, you're going to go in and you're going to see Game Face with 10 SKUs or 15 SKUs in the men's grooming area. You're going to go see us with 10 SKUs in the body, where you got body washes, our body sponge, our body lotion. Okay, cool. Great. And then we're going to give you some foot care too, guys. Hey, what the hell, right? So we have that. That's always been the vision, to create and innovate around that. And we have one exciting product that's due to be launched. It's a hypochlorous acid product. And this is your body produces this hypochlorous acid naturally. But we've got a formulation that is proprietary to us, that we're going to launch it, but it's the best thing to reduce redness on your face, immediately kill bacteria, so you can use it on your face, your body, right? For that athlete, for that older gentleman who's a CEO, who's going to the gym and taking a shower, but he's still perspiring a little bit. Okay, cool. Like, he's not getting that down here and this décolleté in his neck, right? So again, you can look at any other men's brands out there in the market. Who's going to stack up and have a hypochlorous acid product? No, nobody. It's like, but we're going to be best in class. So you can compare it to whatever's out there in the market, but we're going to dominate it.
Love it. So, man, I want to kind of go on. I just need to make sure you give me the thumbs up and thumbs down. But really quick, where can we get your product, right? So let's talk socials, websites, store brands that maybe have partnerships, and where we can find you, or our listeners can find you.
GameFaceGrooming.com. Our social is at GF Wipes. We've kept that handle just because that was ours in the infancy stage. Retail, we're in regional retailers around the country. We have a big forthcoming partnership that we're going to be announcing soon with a national partner. But that's going to give us a broader reach. So I'm a little early there, but okay. You have to have me back, fellas.
Okay, there you go. We have to drop that.
I would welcome that. So it's a March time frame. So it's a little premature, but we're going through all of those the process now. But the most effective way to get the broad cross section of our stuff is our website. We're going to be instituting hopefully a little cool program where we're going to give anybody that's a first-time buyer a high five, and you'll have the ability to get one product if it's your first-time purchase, any of our products, for $5.
I like that. Always new initiatives. Really quick, one thing that we didn't touch upon, right? So anytime you have a brand, is endorsements and, who you're getting. And I know that's a tricky thing, but more, the hot topic right now is NIL, right? And MH, I think, wanted to ask this question, so I just want to get it in there. How is NIL going for you, or are you dabbling in that, or any endorsements? Because getting the league, I mean, that was hand clap for that. I do want to congratulate you on that, and for the sneaker, that's going to be an amazing thing. But what are some things that you're doing, maybe in the NIL space, or just with kind of like co-promotion?
Great question. So with NIL, I think my background in sports kind of helped me develop the way that we attack NIL, right? So we have over 100 athletes right now in our NIL portfolio. So what we do is, hey, hit us up. We'll give you free product, post, cool. That's kind of like tier 1, right? Tier 2, if we see some traction, we'll continue to lace you with product, but we're going to outfit you with some of our cool gear. So that's the next component. Tier 3 will be, hey, if you're really blowing up, we'll give you a percentage of revenue, and hey, maybe he or she happens to have the opportunity to play at the next level. Great. Then we'll carve that type of partnership out for you as well. So that's kind of how we've attacked NIL. But we've gotten outreach from folks on a regular basis. Last week we got an agency that represents Aiden Hutchinson and Jawan Johnson. Hey, they love your product. They've taken the eye paint off. Can you want to do a deal? Yeah, we just launched with the NBA, not NFL. Yes, but not now, right? But being respectful, but we drop product on them. Like, guys, yeah, here, I'm gonna take care of you. Thanks for the outreach, but our next evolution potentially could be securing that license, right, for NFL, because you've seen the evolution of cleats for lifestyle, right? You see, Dak's got dunks on and Jordan Brand and all that on his cleats on Sunday. You know what I mean? So again, that culture is going to drill down into those high school players, those college players, those Pee Wee League players, right? Where they're going to want that foot care, but hey, guys, you still got to take care of your stuff. You know what I mean? So, because mom and dad were dropping 200 on cleats, they should last a season. But that's the evolution of kind of how we've attacked NIL. And then, we have some stuff that we're working on around the NBA with a meaningful partnership yet to be announced, but negotiations are underway.
That's beautiful. And so lastly, just to kind of put a ribbon on that, is going to these events, right? So you were at NBA All-Star and Indy, kind of saw some inferences there, got to speak with Baron Davis. He does a lot with investing and brands and things like that. What are other, I think even on social, you guys did a festival kind of launch. What events are you looking for? Is that kind of maybe part of what the NBA partnership will be to like other sporting events or big events? Like maybe Las Vegas has Complex Con, right? Which is that really big sneakerhead thing, right? So what things that we may see you out in the coming months or year?
Definitely something like that. We are also looking to develop. I'm an avid cyclist, right? So I do. When the weather cooperates, probably 60 to 70 miles a week, right? On my bike. So one of the things that we are looking to do is to create kind of like off the Diplo model, where, we meet up at a retail partner, whether you want to run or bike, you get, a cross section of our products for meeting up. You immediately get done. You get to use our face and body wipes. You can hit the sneak, whatever, right? You get a take home product as well. And then, we're looking to do potentially a tour, a sneaker cleaning tour, next summer, in 26, which, we'd hit certain markets, probably limited to 5 markets Northeast because of the proximity, to where we can, get out and get in, our product in front of people to test it. One of the things that we're doing in our partnership with the 76ers is we are looking to create a activation in the arena. So we've taken the old shoe shining stations that my pop would get his shoes signed at 30th Street Station. Now we're going to do sneaker cleaning station at the in the arena to get folks interested in testing our product, and we'll clean right there, and then they would have an opportunity to garner a free sample as well. So we've got the old school gumball machine, and these are like in the little plastic bubbles, the gumball bubbles. So you scan the QR code, 1-2 turns, you get a free sample piece. We got your details. And that's one of the key activations that we'll be doing. And then, the hope is with the 76ers, we'll also drill down and do some partnerships with their camps, their tournaments, their clinics as well. But where we can parallel and parlay that into different events. And one last thing I'll just tell you, Drew Hanlon is a good friend of mine, and Drew, we're going to do a clinic with him in probably like the March timeframe after high school season's over, before AAU, in the Philly region, to where we'll have, a couple hundred kids doing skills and drills. Hey, get on the plane, come through, meet Drew. But again, like that's kind of, I always say, everybody's like, oh, how do you distinguish your products between like a dude wipes or whatever, and I always say, hey, they're bro, we're pro, man. So we want to be on the professional level, at the highest level, and leading innovation, and dominating wherever we can.
Love it. Hey, want to get those extra questions in, man. But we got to wrap it up. So I want to get to what we call the assist, right? So this is where you get to drop a coaching gem. So put your coaching hat on. And this is just really words that you live by, maybe something you would tell your younger self, or just a quote that you want to share with our audience. So if you want to give us that quick coaching gem.
Quick coaching gem. I measure our kids in 3 ways, right? When they come in the gym, that's commitment level, motivation level, concentration level. And it's got to be on par at a high level every day.
Love it.
Love that.
All right, Mitch, go ahead and give us those final thoughts and get us out of here.
I feel that. No, this has been outstanding. I think, one of the key things that I've kind of picked up from the conversation is really cool how you've used all the pieces of your journey and career and poured it into what you have going today, man. So it's just an inspiration to me. It's been an honor to talk to you, and can't wait to use the product. So thank you for this time with us.
Awesome.
Well, hey, and the quote that I live by is Jackie Robinson, and a life isn't significant unless it impacts others. In my journey, guys, if I can ever be a resource, and you guys are giving me this platform, if I can return that favor with a charitable endeavor that you're involved in, and we're donating product, that's the collaboration to see us all grow and build, right? Or if you have that entrepreneur that needs to have a conversation and is at a crossroads, hit me up, dude. MH and EJ or holler, yeah, let's go. But the last thing I'll tell you, and it's on our packaging, I wake up and I never have a bad day, guys, right? But there's 3 words that I live by, and that's dominate the day. And I will never waste a day, but I'm trying to dominate it in every way I can.
There it is. Those are the words, boy. So I hope you listen and re-listen to this show. Hey, we really want to thank you. And we didn't get to, we got EJ, MH, we got P-Dub on.
Yes, sir.
So we want to thank you, man. We know it's a little later on the East Coast, so thank you for staying up with us, man, and just dropping the juice, sharing your path. I hope people got some gems and rewatch this and share with people. So just want to thank you so much for jumping on and giving us your time, man. That's one of the most important and valuable gifts that you can share. So thank you for that. Most importantly, man, we want to thank you, the audience, for listening. So please, like I said, share this. And you see there's been some open invitations, so kind of reach out to us, and we'll make that connection if you're on that entrepreneurial journey. But look out for the brands. We're going to have all of the comments, all of the ways to get involved and touch with them in the show notes. So look for that. And just once again, we drop a new show every Thursday. So please, please, please subscribe with us on YouTube, because visual representation matters. If you see it, you can be it. But you can listen to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And as we say, getting out here, please stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment.
Thanks, fellas.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap.